Hey everyone, how are you today? Bess McCarty here, Victoria, Kansas, and welcome to the Ask Bess Show. I'm here every Saturday and Sunday at noon Eastern Time, sitting with you, visiting with you about personal growth. And this can be about any topic, career, job, network marketing, family, relationships, communication, health, weight loss, spiritual fulfillment, any of this. So welcome, Sean. How are you? Sean, a star student in our MLM Millionaire Academy School for Network Marketers. Welcome. And follow Sean. He does incredible Facebook Lives. What a positive and uplifting person to be around and to follow. Thank you, Sean, for being my friend. And today the topic is don't be a dinosaur. Don't become extinct. Change with the times. So this is about change today. How are you changing? And so I'm going to cover that in just a minute. I would like to welcome, I'm going to invite some friends here and invite you to, if you know people who love personal growth, who are going through a hard time, who are learning how to adapt to change. I have some really fun little stories and tips for you today. And some tips from Simon Sinek too. Some attitudes, some viewpoints about everything today. So I'm just inviting some people here and invite you to do that too if you like, or even share in another Facebook group that could be watching live at the same time. And if you're watching the replay, please type that in because I would like to thank you for watching. And as always, I love your comments, your questions. This is a place where you can ask questions about any of those things I mentioned, health, wealth, or love. And it's a place where you can offer your tips because I want to learn from you too. And it can be a mastermind. People can share their tips here and learn from each other. My background, who am I to be doing this? I just lost the... Welcome, Kim. Glad to see ya. And welcome, Katerina. Glad to see everybody. Okay, I can invite a few more people yet. While I let you know just who I am, what are my credentials doing all this. I am a body-mind therapist and a holistic health practitioner for 30 years, and I help people to have a better life. Health, wealth, love. My specialty, my niche is network marketing because I was a full-time network marketer for years. Helped me raise my son as a single mom. I'm a dedicated generic coach right now and love helping people. I'm a minister, mother, grandmother, Reiki master, neuromuscular therapist, inner child therapist, author, speaker, published author, what else? A lot of things over 30 years. And I love helping people to have a better life, to learn about themselves, to break through, including to transform like we're doing right now. So that's what I want to talk about today, is transformation. We are in it. And it isn't, are you going to change? It's how you're going to change. First of all, my message to you is, you matter. I hear you. I'll respond. You're not alone. You're bigger than any problem that is before you. Every problem has a solution. It's always within reach. You can become a master problem solver. And I'll share with you a little bit about how I do that and how I teach that with my Real Conversations process. Real Conversations is with ourselves, of course. And welcome, Pierre. Glad to see everybody. Wow, this is really fun. And Kim says, hello. You watch it later. Wonderful. That's great. And Sean, thank you for sharing with your friends. And welcome to the friends that are coming on right now. So, and hello, Deborah. Glad to see you. So change. Don't be a dinosaur. What happened to the dinosaurs? They didn't adapt, and so they went extinct, right? And that's what's also happening with a lot of businesses today. They have gone extinct. The ones who have not adapted and gone with the changes have gone extinct. But generally, as a people, most of us do not enjoy change. You've seen that cartoon, haven't you, where they ask this group of people, who wants change? And everybody puts up their hand. And they say, who wants to change? And nobody puts up their hand. because we won't change if somebody else is going to do it or if it's painless. But for us to change, will take thinking a different way. It'll take energy. It'll take doing something new. Or it always change always means letting go of something old, right? How can we take a step up on a ladder if we keep our foot on the bottom rung all the time? How can we take a step up? We only have 2 feet. We can only touch 2 rungs at the same time. Therefore, if we want to go up, we have to let the bottom ones go. We have to let go of a rung before we can take a next step up, right? That means we have to let go of something. And we're scared of doing that because the unknown is unknown and we're not familiar with it yet. So we're scared of the new thing. Like, is it going to be better or worse? Is it going to be worse for me? But I'll tell you what my experience is, that every single change in my life that I've observed for myself and other people has always been for the better in some way or another, spiritually or in some way. So I am trusting the process of life. I'm trusting change, that everything that we're going through is going to be better for us in the end, at least spiritually. That maybe life couldn't have gotten me to change any other way except by pushing me, because I too like change for variety. But I say later, if change is going to come, if I need to change later, okay, I'll do it later. And I put it off and I procrastinate that change as long as I can. I often don't get my income taxes done too much before the deadline, too much. And sometimes, but often I think, oh, I've got time, I'll do that later, or I wait till life gives me a push, including getting on these lives. You might notice that I'm often a minute or 2 late getting on the lives, and sometimes more. It's because I have a fear of speaking. And I procrastinate. I put it off till like the last moment to get onto the live, and I have to type in the title and all that stuff. But I'm thinking, why do you do that, Bess? Why don't you get on there early, Because I let the deadline push me. Because I'm still nervous speaking in front of people and hoping I'm saying a good thing for you. So welcome, Lucy. Glad to see you. And Deborah is from Atlanta. Yes, I'd like to hear where you're from, because I like to welcome you here. So I love to hear all this. An amazing speaker. Thanks, Lucy. Lucy is a Toastmaster person. She's given me feedback sometimes. And so I take that pretty highly, Lucy. I'm an unpolished speaker, but maybe that's what people relate to as well. At least I do share things from my heart. Things come to me. I make a note of them. I write them down. I think, okay, I'll have something maybe that I can share with somebody that's of some value. And welcome, Lucy's from Concord. And so New Hampshire. And thank you for being here. So change, we're talking about how do we not go extinct? How do we roll with change? How do we change when we resist it? You know what? When I was a kid, I lived in a farm in Kansas where I live near there now, actually. And when I was a kid on the farm, we would have tornadoes come through. Well, we had a root cellar where we would store jars and canned goods and all this stuff. And when a tornado warning would come on the radio, we would all go down into the root cellar and hang out down there. And there's water supplies and food and everything, and we hear the tornado rumbling overhead. And I liked change at that time. I thought, what if we come out of the root cellar and everything in our life has to be completely different? What if the house is taken away and we have to live a completely different life? Wouldn't that be fun to see what a different life would be like? And I'd come out of the root cellar and the house would still be there, so it was still life as it was. A few trees would be knocked down, and us kids, 4 of us kids, we'd play Indians and cowboy among the, knocked down trees, and they would be shelters or houses or something like that. We could make them until the trees were cleared away. But that was the most change the tornado brought. So as I was a kid, I was like, oh boy, we come up, everything's going to be different, And now I have grown up, and I think, oh, I don't want anything to be different because I know the work it will take and all that, and the adjustment, the change, and the energy. But as a kid, I had that, oh boy, change, So I wonder if I can get that back. I wonder if I can get that adventuresome spirit back. And welcome, Shamala from South Africa, and Teresa Barone. Follow these people. Teresa, Sean, Shamala, Jeffrey David, Jeffrey is here, welcome. and Mike. A lot of these people are students in our school, the MLM Millionaire Academy, so thank you for joining on here. And Mike Coleman says, that's true, I've been climbing the ladder for a long time. Here's how. I quit smoking cigarettes. I changed some poor eating habits, went back and got a college degree, had a fear of public speaking too, so I used these Facebook Lives to help me, and it's worked amazingly. Cool. Mike, I'll have to look at your Facebook Lives. Thank you for being on. And Richard, welcome. Welcome, everybody. That's a lot to change, Mike. How did you do that? How did you not go back to smoking cigarettes, eating poorly, got a college degree, fear of public speaking? You overcame like 4 things changed in your life. How did you do that? Were you tempted to slip back? How did you keep going forward? Because the old habits want to pull us back like the crabs in a crab pot. If a crab starts to, like it might be a cooking pot, right? The crabs don't know that, but they're in this pot and they know they're confined. And if one crab starts to crawl out, the other crabs will actually pull it back in, saying, hey buddy, stay with the status quo, be like us, stay where it's safe, you don't know what's out there, don't be different than us, because if you get out there, maybe we should too. We don't want to look at our own fears, so stay in here with us, right? Well, our own parts of ourselves, our own personalities, our own fears do the same thing to the adventuresome self that wants to get out of the tornado cell and see something different. The old parts want to pull me back in. The fearful parts want to pull the adventurous child back in and say, now you remember change before wasn't fun, so this might not be either. So fear is like the rest of the crabs pulling us back in. And welcome, Patty Lakelighter. Glad to see you. And Shamala says, well done, Mike. And Mike says, I had to create a new habit. It's a daily work and effort. Doesn't just happen, right? The old habits are stronger than the new ones until we do the new ones repeatedly, then they become automatic. I can say that about my eating. For 30 years now, I've been 99% raw, primal diet, and now it's easier to eat that way than not, because I've done it for so long, for 30 years. So it's easier for me to eat healthy. So yes, we can create new habits that can become stronger than the old ones. So I have to work against my own resistance and fear of change too. I'm thinking of, I'm going to share I'm thinking of a butterfly. Are we in a cocoon right now? Are we in isolation? Where it's, butterfly is alone, dark, quiet, still, absolutely still, hanging there in a cocoon. I wonder if it's in that cocoon thinking, heck, I just lost my ability to crawl around. I was a gray, brown, green worm, but at least I could crawl around. I could get around on the ground. I could crawl on the ground. Now, I don't even have that ability to crawl. I'm just all cramped in this little cocoon, and it's dark and it's lonely, and how long will I be in here? But the butterfly does that, maybe, takes a rest, goes to sleep, I don't know. But he's in the cocoon alone, isolated, for the purpose of coming out different. Beautiful. Bigger, hugely bigger, can take to the air, not confined to the ground anymore. Not a brown, ugly worm, but a beautiful, beautiful painting almost, and can fly through the air. That's the freedom that the butterfly got from going through the transformation. And that kind of is my symbol for me at this time. How am I going to come out different? You are going to come out different. How are you going to come out different? What kind of a butterfly are you going to be? Thank you for the likes and loves. I appreciate that. And they look like little butterflies floating up. The hearts and everything. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you. And Teresa, oh, there's a butterfly picture Teresa put down, and Mike and Shamala. And stronger. Yep. So stronger, not only bigger, better, we're stronger. And we know that every challenge that we've gone through has made us better and stronger, hasn't it? If you look back, and how else could a life have made us bigger and stronger? So I'm going to share with you some thoughts from Simon Sinek, who a friend sent me, Robert Butwin sent me this video of Simon's that was exactly along the lines that I've made my notes to share with you. So Simon says, and I'll post a link to his talk. It's 5 minutes and it's really cool, you guys. Listen to it like 3 times. And Simon says that a crisis is an opportunity. And the focus that we should have at this time is, how am I going to change? Not how am I going to preserve what I had before and hang on to it before, including businesses. Not how can I make my business just like it was before, but how can I change to serve people even better at this time? How can I be different? He says that the focus should be, how can I change and evolve and reinvent myself, not go back to what I was, not preserve what I was, but to think, what could I be? Could this be a time when I'm taking a break from the rat race to reinvent myself spiritually, to reinvent my marriage, my relationship with my kids, do some personal growth reading, have the time at last to exercise as much as you want, possibly. If you're at home, like maybe 50% of people are, I think 50%. Could this be a time? He said the opportunity is magical. It's magical. Let's not miss the magic at this time. If you are a business, he says, focus on the why. Focus on, or even if you're not, why in your life, focus on the why. And Teresa says, just when the caterpillar thought her life was over, she became a butterfly. Because life is over as the butterfly knew it. But every death brings a transformation. I lost my little dog in January of last year. He was with me 15 years. He was like a part of me and my best friend. And we're going through transformations. I'm still absorbing what that is, but he did come to me. He gave me a sign after he left that he was very, very happy and he was doing well. It was a transformation for him, a step up, a graduation from this lifetime into something bigger. So I'm happy for him and happy for me because it opened my heart so much. And he says, proverb, Teresa says, get through very tough times. And she went through that with her stroke. You are a tough woman, Teresa. You're a positive woman, strengthened by what you went through. And Sean says, focus on the why. And you guys are talking to each other. Thank you. Thank you for your tips and thoughts. So here's what else that Simon says. Focus on your why. And if you're a business person, create the job that helps you to do that. Maybe there isn't a job like that. Maybe you have to create it. So focus on the why and then create the job. Or if it's your marriage or your family, focus on why you had a family, why you're in a marriage, why you wanted one in the first place. And then create the job that helps you to do that, or find the method that helps you to create a stronger marriage, a stronger, more satisfying, secure family unit. That people who have a good, strong family, they're happier and healthier. Research has shown. And Simon says you're not alone. Embrace change by finding the beauty in it. And remember why I'm doing it. And he said, now some of what you need to go through the change will be easy, and some will be incredibly hard. So let's expect both. Let's embrace both. And know that the hard part, that we always have help. Whenever I don't know how to do something, I Google it, I ask a friend who's experienced, I ask my trusted family members, I find out. Because, like I said in the beginning, there's a solution to every problem, even about how to do new stuff that I haven't done before. So I ask, I find out. There's somebody on this planet that has the answer to what I need to learn and do. Even if it's new to me, I can find it. And Patty says, it's so hard to lose a pet. We had a cat. Yeah, it is so hard. And Mike says, wow, I know it's not easy losing a pet, but glad to hear the revelation that he's brought you. It was a miracle. Mike, it's like, okay, I'm sure, that he goes on, that he goes on. He did not die. His body did. And welcome, Mihai, always has inspirational to share with us. And Mike Coleman, absolutely love my family. Welcome. And welcome, Leslie, a dear lady. Glad to see you. Some of the best people are on here. You guys, if you want to make new friends, these people on here. So, okay. So Simon Sinek says, pivot. Learn to pivot. And sometimes I wouldn't do it if I wasn't forced to. He says, if you're a leader, this is the time when you need to take responsibility and realize that you are in charge. I mean, you're not in charge. You're responsible for the people in your charge, whether you're a leader of your family, your business, your group, or whatever. You are not in charge. You're responsible for the people who are in your charge. And he said, leadership, good leadership, always comes at great personal sacrifice. But you get something better, right? The satisfaction of giving. And he said, a good leader is quick to give credit and, quick to give credit and also quick to take blame. Right? Because it's our responsibility. It must be something that we did as a leader. I have a friend. I'd love to hear you guys. I'm going to share a couple tips about how to get out of fear and how to embrace change, because we fear change, right? So I'm going to give a couple of tips about that. Meanwhile, I would love to hear your thoughts, tips, questions below, or just to say hello, just to let me know you're there even. And again, if you know someone who could benefit from this, some of you are tagging people, some of you are sharing in other Facebook groups that are watching it live at the same time, so I appreciate that. And I do like your likes and loves. I saw a whole flood of them before. Look like little butterflies when I was talking about butterflies. So butterfly is my symbol for the transformation going on right now, that we come out better. How are you changing? Take a look at how you are changing right now, because you are. Through this quarantine, through this isolation, through the changes in the finances and the news. How is this going to change your life? And how is this a benefit to you? How can you reinvent yourself and flow with this change like Simon mentions? And I'll post his 5-minute talk below in a few minutes. Okay, some tips from another friend of mine who said, gosh, sometimes I wake up in the night and these fears are going through my head, these thoughts are going through my head, and I think, this is not me. Why am I lying awake thinking about this stuff? And he says the thing that helps him get back to sleep is when he observes his thoughts. When he becomes the observer, rather than be in his thoughts and emotions, he observes them. In other words, he steps outside of them and looks back at them, or sees the thoughts floating, even the fearful ones, like floating down a river. And that is his technique, and he gets back to sleep instead of losing sleep. And I like that a lot, because somehow it makes us objective, and it lets us know that we are not our thoughts and emotions, or even our body. There's some part of us that has a body, has emotions, and has thoughts. Some people call this soul, but it's the you. That's who you really are. And you are perceiving these things. You are having this experience, but you are not the experience. You're not your mind, body, or emotions. I am not my mind, body, emotions. I am something that can perceive that. I have the ability to perceive those things and my thoughts and my emotions and fears going on. And it helps just to be objective like that. And that's what Mr. Rogers has done, the children's teacher. And you may have seen the movie with him recently with Tom Hanks. The family, they're sitting in a family, and the father says, well, I may not be here, later. And Mr. Rogers says, it's sometimes hard to talk about death. He gave it a voice. He spoke about it. That puts him into the observer position. And somehow when we bring it out in the open and are not afraid to say it and verbalize it, it takes some of the charge out. It makes it okay. It makes it human. It makes it doable. And that's the advantage to journaling for yourself, or talking it out with a friend, a trusted friend who you can trust just to listen and not start giving advice or opinion or, inject their own fear or anything, but somebody who has that ability to just listen. It sort of diffuses, discharges, it takes it out of the monster fear area into a normal, everyday, simply a fear, simply an occurrence, death in the family, like Mr. Rogers said, or going through the pandemic, or the uncertainty, the fear of uncertainty of what our economic future is like, or the fear of maybe losing some loved ones, or even losing our own health. So if we speak that sometimes, that really can help. And if the listener can give empathy and reflect back, reflective listening, active listening, reflect back to you what they heard you say, doesn't that feel satisfying? It can take like 90% of the charge or the fear out of it. The situation's the same, it's just that the fear is gone. And there's a story about a man in a desert who met two figures walking toward him, and one was called fear and one was called pandemic. And if I have the numbers right, he said, well, what are you two up to? And they said, well, we're going to go to this town over there and we're going to take 100,000 lives. And he said to pandemic, the man in the desert said to pandemic, wow, you must be very powerful. And pandemic said, not really. I'm just going to touch 100 people, and fear is going to do the rest. So just talking it out can help, and that is why I'm offering as a donation a free group talk on Tuesday nights, every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where people can just call in and talk or listen and be in company. They can be listened to, or they could even have solutions from me or from the group if they wish. I call it a group talk, or group coaching, or whatever you want to call it, or counseling, because I'm all those things. But the idea is to be heard. And some of you have been on that. If you have and you benefit from it, would you leave a note so other people maybe, if you feel comfortable anyway, leave a note so that other people might be inspired to check it out too. It's just a free call. I'll leave the phone number. It's a free conference call. You just dial in. You can be anonymous. You can use a made-up name. You can just, not speak if you want to. If you don't want to, it's not recorded, and it's just by phone, not video, so it can be very anonymous. So this is every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I call it Compassionate Conversations. And y'all are welcome to that. Feel free to take that number, spread it around, share it. It was formerly a paid class or group, coaching group. Now I'm just at this time, because so many people need it, I just want to get the word out for people to take advantage of this and have this. So it's every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We go for an hour or whatever it takes. And I'll put that number below. So I'm going to just be in touch with what people are saying here. Events are many, but the understanding is the only one. Lucy says everyone's a leader, and Mike says you deliver. I like that. Painting behind you, it's popular, not sure. The painting is one that I made years ago. I painted in oils. I was an artist before I got into the art of working with people. So people are my art now. People's feelings, needs, transformations, and helping them as a personal growth coach. So I do that now, but I used to paint quite a bit, and have another painting here. That's another one. Both of these are paintings of how I felt. I'm the bird in that case, flying into the light, and this one was an inner vision that I saw. And so that's my paintings come from inner visions, inner things that I see, or beauty that I want to take a snapshot of and share with other people. So thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, these are oil paintings. Mihai says a true leader is one who creates leaders. Yes, for people who want to be. Yes, not to be the leader, but to create them. And see you later, Lucy. Diana is watching. Thank you for being here. And Ruben. And Mihai leaves another inspirational thought there. And Deborah likes the group on Tuesday night. And Teresa, I know you wanting to get on that, and Sean was wanting to get on it, and Mihai has left another beautiful thought, which I'll let you guys read individually. So, another thing that we can lose when we are little, is the ability to dream what we want to be. So I encourage you guys to do that now. Can you reclaim your sense of adventure? If you have children, maybe it's easy to see what that is like. You know, the little girl in me that wanted to come out of after the tornado and see have a change, you know, look forward to change. The little girl in me who could dream what she wanted to be. And can I reclaim those things, that my sense of adventure and my ability to dream? Can I reclaim those things? Can we get back our sense of adventure and sense of change? Can we reinvent ourselves right now? You are changing. How do you want to change? How do you want to come out of this? Butterfly, I invite you. Let's fly together. Okay, thanks for the invite. Okay. Doesn't care that he's the leader, but only purpose is to create leaders. Yep. The leader, thank you, Mihai. The leader, a true leader, the spotlight's not on him, but on the people that he leads, who he wants to develop as leaders, right? Who develop leaders. So the grandchildren bring out the little girl in me. Me too, Shamala. What a gift. What a gift. I know you're grandma too, several times. So thank you each for being here. What I'm going to do tomorrow, this Ask Bess show is here every Saturday and Sunday at noon Eastern Time. And you can ask questions here or private message me, especially if you want them to be anonymous. And I come on and I can give my take on things and ask other people's take on the questions that you've answered. And tomorrow I'm going to do something really different. I'm going to share with you my own journal of what I've been learning over this past month, because I'm talking about change, right, and being brave and all that. So I'm going to share with you is kind of a vulnerable peek into my own journaling from the last month, which is a document, a diary of the things that I've been facing in myself and learning, which are not always, they're the things that are not easy to look at, but I'm going to share that with you tomorrow in case it inspires other people to be brave and work on themselves at this precious opportunity that we have to do this right now, where we're on this retreat. Many people, most of us are on this isolated retreat. So thank you. All leaders need to come out of our cocoons. I know, my comfort zone. And we're going to come out of this. Let's come out better and help people more. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. I'd love to have you join me for my own look at my own journaling and what I'm learning at this time. I also have some free tools for you. Real Conversations. I'll post those below as well. Real Conversations with Ourselves is a self-help tool that I documented, not created, but I observed how this happened with my clients, students, and myself. And I documented this. It's self-help in 4 steps. We observe the problem we're going through, the emotion, the need that we have, and then how to meet that need. So basically, it's how to meet our need. How do we get that sense of adventure back? I will post a link to those free tools. Again, a gift that I want to make available for you. So thank you each for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.